Close your eyes. You are standing on January. The cold is not just around you. It is attacking you. A brutal wind from the North Sea slices across your face like blades. Every breath burns your lungs. Every step feels heavier than the last. Now imagine this. You are not wearing wool. You are not wrapped in fur. You are wearing iron. Freezing iron armor that sat outside all night, absorbing the cold, waiting for you, the moment you put it on. It does not warm you. It steals your heat. And you cannot move. You are on guard duty. Not for 1 hour. Not for 2. For 4 long hours. Standing still. While the cold slowly drains the life out of you. And here is the part that makes it even worse. Most of these soldiers were not even from cold climates. They came from warm regions. North Africa. Syria. The Mediterranean. Places where winters like this did not exist. And yet, they survived. They fought. They held the line. So how? How did the Roman army endure conditions that should have broken them? The answer was not strength. It was system. The biggest threat was not always the enemy beyond the wall. It was what the soldiers were wearing. The larica segmentata. The iconic armor of the Roman legionary. Perfect for Mediterranean climates. Deadly in northern winters. Iron pulls heat away from the body nearly 25 times faster than wool. So when a soldier wore ice-cold armor, he was not just uncomfortable. He was losing heat rapidly, fast enough to risk hypothermia. And hypothermia does not warn you. It creeps in. First fatigue. Then confusion. Then loss of coordination. A soldier in that state was not just weak. He was a liability, a danger to himself, and to everyone around him. Roman commanders did not understand the science, but they understood the effect, and they adapted. The solution was not one thing. It was layers. Under the armor, soldiers wore the subarmalis, a padded garment, somewhere between a thick tunic and a quilted jacket. It absorbed impact in battle, but in winter it became something far more important. A barrier between flesh and frozen iron. On top of that came a wool tunic. Wool was not just common. It was essential. It trapped heat. It worked even when wet. It prevented sweat buildup. One of the fastest ways to lose warmth. Together these layers created a system. Not perfect, but enough to keep a soldier alive and functional. At Vindolanda, archaeologists discovered something extraordinary. A simple letter, written by a soldier, not asking for weapons, not asking for glory, but for survival. Send socks. Along with them, undergarments, and sandals. That one request revealed everything. Socks were not standard issue. If they were, he would not need to ask. But he needed them badly enough to write home. And here is the strange part. Roman soldiers were wearing socks. With sandals. The caligae. Open military sandals designed for heat. Perfect in Italy. Terrible in Britain. Cold. Wet. Exposed. So soldiers improvised. They adapted. They wore socks inside sandals, creating warmth where none existed. Later archaeology shows something even more important. Closed boots. Calcii. Warmer. Safer. Proof that the Roman system did not stay rigid. It evolved. The real genius of Rome was not just clothing. It was planning. The system of Hibernia. Winter quarters. Rome did not fight winter. They prepared for it. Campaigns stopped. Armies did not disband. They settled into fortified bases built for survival. The castra stativa. Permanent fort. Not just military installations, but winter survival machines. Barracks. Granaries. Defensive walls. And most importantly, heat. Roman forts used an advanced system called the hypocaust. A furnace pushed hot air beneath raised floors. turning the entire room into a heater. Imagine that. Outside, freezing winds, ice, deathly cold. Inside, warm floors, heated walls. Roman soldiers in these forts lived better in winter than most civilians. This was not luck. This was design. The system did not stop at armor. The sagum, a heavy wool cloak, used as clothing, used as a blanket, used as shelter. Then the beerus, a hooded cape for extreme cold. And then came something even more telling. Trousers. The bracchi. At first Romans rejected them. They were barbarian, uncivilized. But the cold did not care about pride. So soldiers adapted. They wore them anyway. And eventually, Rome accepted it. Part 8. Even with all this, winter still won sometimes. Cold slowed everything. Fingers stiffened. Weapons became harder to grip. Armor froze. Leather hardened. Bowstrings weakened. Efficiency dropped. This was not just discomfort. It was tactical degradation. Rome understood this. So they avoided winter warfare whenever possible. Because a rested army in spring was stronger than a frozen army in winter. When winter operations could not be avoided, Rome adapted again. More food. To fuel the body. More rest. To prevent collapse. Strict foot care. Because feet were the first to fail. And military hospitals. Treating cold injuries just like battle wounds. Everything was controlled. Everything was deliberate. Life for a Roman soldier on the northern frontier was brutal. Freezing. Relentless. Unforgiving. But they did not survive because they were tougher than everyone else. They survived because they understood something deeper. They studied the environment. They adapted to it. And then they turned those adaptations into a system. A system so effective. It allowed them to hold the line from Britain to the edges of the East for centuries. So now the question is, what part surprised you the most? The frozen armor, the socks with sandals, or the fact that survival